Okay, so this next video I'm going to show you guys how to resaw a piece of stock so that well basically anytime we've got real thick stock that we want to make several thinner pieces of stock out of, we're going to resaw. Resaw is simply using typically a bandsaw to re-mill or resize, resaw the stock into smaller pieces. So where we're going to use this is in a panel where we're going to resaw a piece off at 3/8 of an inch. We're going to flip it and our grain is going to be exactly matching. So this particular process is actually called book matching. Okay? So first thing we have to do is set up for peanut gallery. Eh? First thing we're going to do is actually set up the saw for resawing. Okay, so my blade guard, just like as any other operation, I'm going to set that about a pencil width above my board. Now I need a resaw pin. Okay, so I'm going to be using a fence here with a resaw pin, and this is actually a curved fence that is exactly 90 degrees to the table, and I've already checked it using a square, making sure that it is. It's 90 degrees to the table, and the blade is also 90 degrees to the table. Two very important things to check when we're doing this. There's also a curve. This is actually a curved fence, and it allows us to still steer the board as we push this through in case there's any leading edge with the bandsaw. Okay, I'm also going to install a feather board, and this is going to help the board that I'm resawing stay pushed up tight against the resaw, okay? Or against the fence, rather. Okay, so we're going to set that there. Now the resaw pin, the center of the resaw pin should be positioned right at about where the teeth are, sort of in line front to back wise with where the teeth of the blade are. Same with the feather board, kind of about in the center of the blade, or even...
Mrs. McIntyre, please contact the main office. Mrs. McIntyre, please contact the main office.
There we go. Or actually just on the leading edge of the blade. Okay? Now the machine is set up, ready to do a resaw operation. I'm going to now take a marking gauge and set it at 3/8 of an inch, which is larger than the final size of the panel I want to make. Okay, so I've got my marking gauge set at 3/8 of an inch, and I've got my board already dressed so that I have a reference face and a reference edge. Reference edge, of course, going down flat on the table, and I'm going to resaw off this edge. Okay, so we're going to take our marking gauge with adjusted at 3/8 of an inch. Give ourselves a good line there. And just so you can see there on the camera, I'm going to just darken that up with my pencil, just so you can see where that line is a little bit better. Okay? I'm going to be sticking to the waist side of this line, making sure that I get a full 3/8 of an inch piece that comes off here, right? Recognizing that the blade does take a little bit of kerf or width away from the wood. Okay, so I'm going to set my board here and position right there so that my blade is just on the waist side of the line that I'm going to be taking off. And I'm going to set my feather board so that it's just pushing lightly on the board, and I'll tighten it up. Okay, this feather board again is going to keep the board that I'm resawing pushed tight up against the resaw pin. Okay. Safety glasses, earmuffs. We'll go ahead and turn this on. Let the saw come up to speed. And we're going to push our board through. off with a push stick. Okay, so notice how I just finished off there with a push stick, making sure that my hand stayed well away from the board. Be sure to let off on the pressure as you finish pushing that board through, just so you're not loading up the blade and then having all that load come off as soon as the board goes through. And that's it. Okay, so we've got a resawn board now that I can take and make this into a panel. And the really cool thing about the effect of resawing is that now I have a board that I'm going to be able to glue up and have a perfectly matched mirror image, right? So we call this book matching. There's a lot of really cool things that we can do with this. That's it.